Stephen A. Smith has voiced concerns about the physical differences between Canelo Alvarez and Terence Crawford as they prepare for their highly anticipated boxing match. He recognizes Crawford as the more skilled boxer, capable of posing significant challenges to Canelo due to his technical prowess. However, Smith questions whether Crawford possesses the power to hurt Canelo, given the latter's larger physique and reputation for durability. Smith suggests that Crawford's lack of experience against opponents of Canelo's size and strength could be a critical factor. He believes Crawford's superior boxing ability might give Canelo trouble, but without the ability to inflict significant damage, Crawford may struggle to keep the more powerful Canelo at bay. This fight, Smith notes, is not just about skill but also about legacy, as both fighters aim to solidify their places in boxing history. Eddie Reynoso, Canelo's respected trainer, has addressed persistent allegations regarding performance-enhancing substances linked to fighters associated with his gym. Over the years, Reynoso has faced scrutiny, with some accusing him of involvement in providing or permitting such substances. He has consistently denied these claims, emphasizing that his fighters, including Canelo, are responsible for their own nutrition plans. Reynoso insists his role is limited to training, focusing on strategy, skill development, and mental preparation. Ahead of the Crawford fight, these clarifications are particularly significant, as Canelo's noticeably larger physique has sparked speculation. Reynoso has stated that he now oversees his team's operations more closely, ensuring transparency to counter the guilty by association narrative. He has distanced himself from any direct involvement in his fighters' dietary choices, asserting that Canelo maintains a clean program and is meticulous about his supplement and food intake. The controversy surrounding performance-enhancing substances extends beyond Reynoso's camp. For instance, Jesse Rodriguez Jr., rumored to be managed by Reynoso, failed a drug test after a fight where he set a record for punches landed, raising eyebrows in the boxing community. Despite this, the WBC issued a lenient ruling, citing unintentional use, and Rodriguez faced only a 12-month probation period with random testing rather than a harsher penalty. This decision has fueled perceptions of favoritism, with some speculating that Canelo's team or Reynoso's influence may have played a role in securing a lighter consequence. While these claims remain unproven and are dismissed by Reynoso, who denies managing Rodriguez, they contribute to ongoing discussions about corruption and accountability in boxing. The fact that Rodriguez was not severely punished, and may even be rewarded with a rematch for the WBC belt, has frustrated some observers who see inconsistencies in how violations are handled. Crawford's team, meanwhile, exudes confidence. His strength coach has made bold predictions, asserting that Crawford will dominate Canelo, emphasizing the meticulous preparation in their training camp. The coach highlights Crawford's conditioning, strength, and work ethic, suggesting these attributes will neutralize Canelo's size advantage. This optimism is echoed within Crawford's camp, which views the fight as an opportunity to prove their fighter's greatness against one of the sport's biggest names. The coach's comments underscore the strategic approach to Crawford's training, focusing on stamina and power to match Canelo's physicality. Analysts have pointed out that the size of the ring could significantly influence the fight's outcome. A standard-sized ring would favor Crawford, allowing him to leverage his speed, movement, and tactical positioning to control the fight's pace. Historical examples, such as Canelo's loss to Dimitri Bivol, demonstrate that Canelo can struggle against opponents who maintain distance and use lateral movement to disrupt his rhythm. If Crawford can exploit this by keeping Canelo at bay, his chances of success increase. Conversely, a smaller ring or one that allows Canelo to close the distance quickly could shift the fight toward a more physical battle, where Canelo's size and power might dominate. Crawford's team is aware of this dynamic and is likely preparing to maximize his mobility to avoid a toe-to-toe slugfest. Veteran broadcaster Jim Gray has called the matchup a clash of two fighters with exceptional legacies, emphasizing its significance for boxing. He praises Canelo's sustained excellence across multiple weight divisions and acknowledges Crawford's dominance in his own weight classes. Gray sees the fight as a battle for legacy, not just titles, and highlights the intrigue surrounding the weight difference. While Canelo's larger frame and experience give him an edge, Gray notes that Crawford's skills make him a formidable opponent. He describes the event as a major moment for the sport, set to take place at Allegiant Stadium with a massive audience, underscoring its global appeal. Renowned trainer Abel Sanchez, however, is skeptical of Crawford's chances, citing the significant size disparity. He argues that weight divisions exist for a reason, and Canelo's natural size and strength at his weight class will pose a major challenge. Sanchez points to Crawford's recent performances, noting that even in a fight against a lighter opponent at 154 pounds, Crawford did not dominate as convincingly as he did in lower weight classes. Sanchez believes Canelo's experience and power will wear Crawford down, predicting a decision victory for Canelo. He references Canelo's loss to Bivol, describing Bivol as a highly skilled fighter akin to Gennady Golovkin but heavier, suggesting that Canelo typically dominates opponents below 175 pounds after the initial rounds. Legendary ring announcer Jimmy Lennon Jr. shares a similar perspective, leaning toward the naturally bigger fighter, Canelo, as the likely victor. However, he acknowledges that Canelo's recent performances have not been as dominant, leaving room for Crawford to capitalize. Lennon sees the fight as a test of whether Crawford's jump to 168 pounds is too ambitious, but he also recognizes the opinions of respected boxing figures who believe Crawford's skills could make him the favorite. If Crawford were to win, Lennon suggests it would be a monumental achievement, potentially placing him among the all-time greats, though he cautions that some might attribute a Canelo loss to external factors rather than Crawford's superiority. Shakur Stevenson, an undefeated champion, strongly supports Crawford, calling him the greatest in his weight class and expressing confidence that his skills can overcome Canelo's size advantage. Stevenson's belief in Crawford stems from years of observing his style, which he sees as uniquely suited to counter Canelo's approach. He cites Crawford's performance against Shawn Porter as evidence of his potential to defeat Canelo, even before Crawford's dominant showing against Errol Spence. Stevenson disagrees with the notion that throwing right hands is the only way to beat Canelo, arguing that Crawford's overall boxing IQ and adaptability will be key. His endorsement carries weight, given his own credentials as an elite fighter, and reflects the broader respect Crawford commands within the boxing community. Former champion Shawn Porter has provided detailed insights into Crawford's physical transformation for the fight. After meeting Crawford, Porter observed that his lower body, particularly his legs, appeared strong and well-proportioned, indicating a disciplined approach to weight gain. Porter noted that Crawford's added mass has not compromised his speed or agility, a critical factor when moving up in weight. He believes this balance of strength and quickness could give Crawford an edge, especially if he can use his mobility to avoid Canelo's power shots. Porter's analysis highlights the precision of Crawford's training camp, conducted at high altitude in Colorado Springs, which likely enhances his stamina and conditioning. Some boxing fans are so confident in Crawford's abilities that they predict a one-sided victory, dismissing Canelo's accomplishments in the process. This has sparked frustration among Canelo's supporters, who argue that he remains the best Mexican fighter of his era and one of the greatest boxers ever. They view the narrative that Crawford will easily dominate as disrespectful to Canelo's track record against elite competition. For these fans, the fight is not only about determining a winner but also about reaffirming Canelo's legacy. They acknowledge Crawford's talent but caution against underestimating Canelo, who has faced and defeated numerous top-tier opponents across weight classes. The debate reflects the high stakes of the matchup, which pits two pound-for-pound greats against each other in a clash that could define their careers. The contrasting opinions from analysts, trainers, and fighters underscore the complexity of predicting the fight's outcome. Crawford's technical brilliance and adaptability make him a dangerous opponent, but Canelo's size, power, and experience present formidable challenges. The ring size, Crawford's ability to maintain distance, and Canelo's capacity to impose his physicality will likely be decisive factors. Both camps are preparing meticulously, with Crawford's team focusing on mobility and conditioning, and Canelo's team emphasizing strategic training under Reynoso's guidance. The controversy surrounding performance-enhancing substances and past drug test failures adds another layer of intrigue, though Reynoso and Canelo maintain their commitment to a clean program. As the fight approaches, the boxing world is divided, with some seeing Crawford's skills as the key to victory and others believing Canelo's physical advantages will prove too much. Regardless of the outcome, the fight promises to be a defining moment for both fighters and the sport itself, drawing global attention to Allegiant Stadium in September.